I'm John Simon, Portland, Michigan. I've owned it since 1988, but Terry Reno of Indianapolis, Indiana built it for the speed record. DuPont put up $15,000 for the first person to break 65 miles an hour.
And when was this?
This was in 1985, and actually an Olympic rider, Carl Sundquist, had it up to about 60 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that, I think, is still the record at sea level. You know, everybody else at Battle Mountain's up at altitude. Nobody tries anymore at sea level because they can't get that high with the wind resistance.
And how did you do here today at Waterford? You've been riding it for a lot of years now.
Yeah, since 1988. This is my 36th year riding it, so yeah, it's fun.
Good for you.
Need to get in a little better shape, but it's fun. It's fun, especially on this track.
Right.
It does have a landing gear, so I can get in and out of it myself instead of having a holder. That's what that is. This rubber band shuts that up, and that way I don't need a holder. Pull this back over center,
And down the landing gear comes.
yeah, we ride it on the road. I got a flag for it.
Oh, that's awesome. I love these.
Still pretty practical, and it still goes pretty fast for 40 years old.
So guys, here at Waterford Hills in Michigan with my buddy Marshall Randall, who just got done with an hour race. Marshall, how did it go?
Gary, it went really well. It was pretty cool. You know, obviously first time out here doing this, new experience, but man, people are awesome. The racing was awesome. Yeah, it was cool.
All right, so describe the course, if you would, to us, Marshall.
Yeah, so it's got one really nice straightaway, you know, right here at the start finish. But it's a pretty tight course. I mean, there's sections that going through the curves were probably down to, I don't know, 12, 15 miles an hour. There's one climb that, boy, people were really struggling on. Everybody, you know, crawling up at maybe 10 miles an hour. But then the flip side, the cool part, yeah, you get to come down to 30 miles an hour. So that's the fun part. A lot of turns, but still the speeds were really, really fast for overall times.
And a mile and a quarter, did you say that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 1.4 miles all the way around.
Oh, 1.4 miles.
Yeah.
It's not a mile and a quarter.
Yeah, but
No wonder my math was wrong. Okay. All right, so what sort of human-powered vehicle did you do this in?
So today I used my regular old steed, I'll call it the Greenspeed Aero. Pretty stock wheels, stock tires. You know, the only thing I do is just some clipless pedals. My favorite ride.
And how did you do? I understand you were the champion in some manner?
So yeah, before the race, I looked up on recumbent.com. They keep track of all the records on all the various tracks that they hold these events on. And best I could tell, about 10 years ago, somebody averaged just over 20 miles an hour for the hour event. And I think I averaged over 23 today. So good day.
Excellent. It was a good day. So
Yeah.
you coming back next year?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
But wait,
Yes?
are you going to be here?
Of course.
Oh, then I'll be here.
Now I'm committed. Thank
Yeah.
you, Marshall.
You bet.
All right.
Thanks, Gary.
We are here with Lincoln MacDonald, who happens to be a student at the University of Toronto, a famed HPV design program. Lincoln, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. So excited to be here.
Very nice. Well, Lincoln, we first met actually at Battle Mountain last year. I got a chance to talk to you, interview a little bit, and it was nice to see you in Michigan last weekend at the Waterford Hills race. So you're going to talk about the team, the University of Toronto Human Powered Vehicle Design Team, of which you have been a part. Tell me a little bit about the design team and its goals.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're an entirely student-run, student-worked-on organization. So we're funded through a student levy at the university, and it's anybody can join. mostly we have engineering students, a lot of mechanical and material science focus, although our electronics team is actually growing quite quickly. But so we're a group of students, mostly engineers, undergraduate. We have some grad students as well. And we build and design human-powered vehicles. The team is mostly focused on bikes over the last decade, building a variety of different bikes for ASME competitions, for Waterford, for Kenosha, Northbrook, World Speed Challenge. We've done a lot of work there as well. And we've, our latest project we're working on is a human-powered aircraft. So we kind of dibble and dabble, I guess you could say, into a variety of different human-powered activities. But yeah, our team is about providing opportunity for budding engineers to get hands-on experience, to learn CAD tools, to understand composites, things like that. And we also want to push the boundaries of human achievement and what's possible. The team was founded on building the human-powered ornithopter, Snowbird, and later building Atlas, the helicopter, and then eventually working up to Ada and Titan and those sort of things. So we have a big passion for pushing the limits of human capability as well.
Of course, you have a storied past in racing, including Todd Reichert, who currently holds the human-powered vehicle record at 89 plus miles an hour back at Battle Mountain, yes?
Yes, indeed.
All right. And so let's, that was great. Let's focus in now on Waterford this year. What was it that you guys hoped to achieve coming to the race at Waterford?
Our team has had a lot of membership over the years, and the members have through COVID, they aged to be like grad students and in their PhDs. And so actually coming out of COVID, when I joined the team, I joined in 2021. So just out of COVID, the team was very sort of the older generation, and there was a very few undergrads and young undergrads in first and second year. So over the course of this year, it's been a bit of a rebuild for us. So in terms of recruitment and finding people who are sticking around, who are younger and engaged in the team. And so for us, Waterford was a huge learning experience. We wanted to bring a big team of new people and get as many people seat time, riding, and learning. We've been working on our other project, this Falcon aircraft project. And so we haven't done a lot of work on the bikes specifically. So it was a great opportunity to introduce people to racings, to streamliners, to recumbents, and really get them learning and riding together. So that was our really big focus. It was all about building experience and having fun.
Great. And from what I could see, you guys did have a lot of fun and brought plenty of people who were really interested in racing. Let's talk about the bikes that you brought to Waterford. Can you describe what you brought with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually brought 7 bikes. It was the first time we've ever had 7 bikes at Waterford, and first time we've had 3 running streamliners. So super exciting. So our streamliners, Vortex, as many of you may know, a very famous speed bike, holds the record for the most runs at Battle Mountain. It was built in 2011. I think 2011, somewhere around there. So that was we brought that bike. We also brought Tempest, which was built in 2016 by the team, and Cyclone, built in 2017. Cyclone was the one that I refurbished last year to run at World Speed Challenge. So we raced those 3 streamliners, and then we also brought a slew of different recumbent vehicles. So we brought Speed Machine, which is sort of our comfy upright, or our comfy recumbent. Sorry, it's got suspension and it's very comfortable to ride. We brought Baron, which is a bit of a sort of low racer, almost low racer stock bike, and then we brought Vitezza, which is our more of a low racer. Although we had some technical issues with it, so we were working on it for a lot of the race. And then Bill also brought Zephyr, the upright TT bike that the team built a couple years ago.
Right. I saw Bill riding that a couple of times.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lincoln, let's start out by talking about the course. So you spent plenty of time on the course over the weekend. Describe it as you rode it, and what did you think of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Waterford's a super fun course, actually. When I was chatting with the team before, I was saying that for car racing, it's less noticeable, the hills and stuff, but for biking, it's super fun to have the variety of terrain. So you're not just on a flat section or compared to like the flat tracks that say we practice on. So it's a lot of fun. I can sort of talk through the course a bit if you want. Yeah, so it starts with a big main straight, and then it has with a sort of like fun downhill to gain a bit of speed around a corner, and sort of like a low sweeping corner, I like to think of it as. And then you come around the back, and there's a couple sort of back and forths, and then you go up the big hill. It's always a bit of a climb, no matter how many times, how much speed you get at it. Every time you come around, you're like, oh, the hill again. But you manage to get up it, and then there's a beautiful downhill, and because of the aerodynamics of our bikes, like they're so smooth coming down that hill that you can go down. You can really coast down that hill and all the way around the back straight with as much power as you feel comfortable putting out. And then it's got a nice tight corner at the back straight you got to be careful of before you sort of whip around and get back onto the main straight again. So it's a really fun course. It's got lots of elevation change, lots of interesting sections, lots of room for passing and close course racing. And I think the team really enjoyed just the variety of terrain. Having that hill is a big challenge, but the coast down is really fun and it provides a lot of interesting opportunities.
All right, let's get into the events then, Lincoln. I'm not sure how we want to approach this. I think maybe we'll go with highlights as you saw them. I'm going to let you tell the story. So we don't necessarily need to go event by event, but why don't you talk about the highlights for each event that either you were involved in or maybe some of the other team was involved in that you witnessed? Tell us about the events and what you thought were the highlights.
I think for our team this year, a lot of like running the events was a lot of a learning experience. So for a lot of the hour or like time trial races, we would switch in and out of bikes. So for me, it was really cool to see sort of everybody getting a chance to do a couple laps on the track. I think there was a lot of very like aha moments watching like Dennis fly past us and sort of being like, that's sort of what we're reaching for. That's what we're trying to get to for our team and stuff. In terms of moments, I think like the first race is always like a bit of a push to get to for us in terms of getting the bikes out in the morning, getting them ready to go. So it was a bit tough to get ready for that one. But like for the second, the second hour race was great to have. I think we had all 3 bikes on the course several different times, which I think was just an achievement itself for us and our team, because it always seems like there's one bike that has a problem with it. So that was really fun. I don't have like super specific highlights for you, but I think that my biggest highlight was the fact that we brought 14 people to Waterford, only 4 of which had ever been to Waterford before. And 6 of which were second year undergrads and 4 of which were first years. And of those 14 people, 12 rode speed bikes, many of which who'd never ridden on a course before or had never ridden in an event before. So for us, that was the biggest highlight, was just having everybody riding. Anybody who wanted to was able to. And everybody had the skills. We have this rider training program that everyone's been working on over the last couple months to like get hours in the recumbents, get seat time before they go to the streamliners. So that was really fun to see. A variety of different people did the sprint events. We had tons of women racing. It was like one of the first times we've had like strong competitive women racing in 5 or 10 years at Waterford for our team. So it was really awesome to see that back again. It's been a long time coming, and it's so great to see. So, but for me, I don't think my weekend, I wasn't that focused on racing myself, actually. It was mostly about encouraging our other athletes. We have some like really strong young athletes who are still like learning how to ride and stuff. So for me, it was about pushing them and like teaching them. And so I think that was really my focus of the weekend. So I really enjoyed watching a lot of our first years battle it out on the recumbents in the hour race. We had, I think Claire and Ian were battling it out for a lot, just like riding side by side in Baron and Speed Machine. We had Ethan, one of our other riders. He was tracking a lot of his power numbers, trying to get his FTP up, which was great to see. We had Izzy, one of our the first female riders we've had in a long time to compete in like a long distance competition in a streamliner. So that was awesome. And a variety of different other riders. Just getting opportunities to shine. So I think that was really my highlights for me. I really enjoyed the coast down and the hill climb. That was really fun. Cyclone had a better gearing system than Vortex, so we could get a lot faster going up the hill, which provided a great coast down. So I think I got second to the coast down, which was fun.
I understand that you may or may not be attending Battle Mountain this year. What's the story on that?
Battle Mountain, as you know, it's far for us to get to, and so it's a lot for the team to get there, and so we have to see if Titan will be ready. We're currently working on the aircraft project that will be piloted by Calvin and Bill, so that's sort of our summer focus, which doesn't leave a lot of time for Titan. So at the moment, we're a bit unsure if we'll be able to make it. The other thing is we've had some issues. As you know, Titan had a bad crash last year in Battle Mountain. And so it's made our faculty and us as well a bit wary about just being sure that the bike's back in good condition, and that any of the handling problems that may have had in past years is sort of sorted out. So I think there's a lot of those things that we have to sort of check off the list and think about before we put a strong bid together for Battle Mountain. So I definitely don't think it's the last time you will see us at Battle Mountain. Was last year. We'll definitely be back in some capacity. I don't know if we'll be back with Titan this year though. Just depends on kind of where we're at as a team, where the aircraft project is at, where safety and the faculty is, and where our heads are at too. I think we need a lot more seat time in the bike, which you know for speed bikes is pretty hard to get, especially for a bike like Titan with a 30 or 40 kilometer minimum speed and a something like 100 meter turning radius. So or 50 meters, I think it's 50 meters, something like that. So makes it a bit challenging to just figure out all the logistics. So yeah, that's sort of my.
Yeah, my last question was going to be about new bike designs, but I'm getting the impression that really that's not on the table right now. And I keep hearing you talk about the aircraft. So I don't know what you can tell us about it at this point, but it's a fascinating subject. It's still human powered, and I'm guessing, is it laid back as well? Can you tell us what you can about the airplane project?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the team, as you know, has built bikes for years and years, but recently we've been pursuing this aircraft project. We're looking to build a two-seater, very similar to the Titan shell design, a two-seater aircraft in the hopes of seeing how far and how fast we can fly it. We're still in the prototyping stages. We built a lot of test section and test wings, but we've just bought the material to start building our main wing. So that'll be coming later this month, and likely July and early August we'll be assembling a lot of the components for that. So that's sort of been the team's focus. But yeah, it is a laid back design. It's very similar to the Titan shape and the Titan configuration, with the two riders sitting back to back and in recumbent position for better aerodynamics. So that is the current plan.
In terms of a goal, is there a prize offered for that or something?
Yeah, if you've heard of the Kramer Prize, there's several Kramer Prizes. If you've heard of the Gossamer Albatross or the Gossamer Condor, who set the original Kramer Prize. So there's a marathon prize, which is to fly a 42 kilometer course between two figure 8 sort of obstacles at a distance of something like 4 kilometers. So you do about 10 lengths or 5 laps of it. So we're looking to compete for that prize. There's also the Great Race coming up. I think the British Human Power Society or the Aeronautics Society has set out a competition to fly across the English Channel. So I don't know if you've heard about that, but sort of similar to some of the other competitions that they have in England for human powered flight. And so we're hoping to compete in that next summer in England with this aircraft. So that's kind of where it's going.
Lincoln MacDonald, thank you so much for joining us on the Laid Back Bike Report. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.